Hello everybody, I am Mungo, or as some of you may know me as, Virtual 170, and welcome to this FSElite video. Today I will be showing you and walking you through a startup procedure and showing you some other features of the Leonardo Fly The Maddog MD80. So as you can see in front of us now, we have the aircraft in the newly released American Airlines livery. This is version 9.9.9, the pre-release version of this aircraft. As you can see, we're currently on the ground in Dallas-Fort Worth. And we're going to be setting up a flight today over to Atlanta Hartsfield International. So you join me now in the flight deck of the Leonardo Maddog MD80-2. And we are here in a cold and dark state. As you can see, everything is off in the flight deck, all the switches are off. And we are going to set this aircraft up from its current state in cold and dark, and we're going to be making it into an aircraft that is actually alive and is doing stuff. So as sort of a first thing, I'll just take you on a quick tour around the cockpit. As you can see, it is excellently modelled, a massive improvement over the last version, although of course the last version was only made in 2006, so got to give it 12 years. A lot can change at that time. So yeah, as you can see, even if we go right down to the window mechanism here, it's all very well detailed. A truly excellent rendition of what is a very cool aircraft. So on my other screen I have a checklist that I use for all things MD80, as I still do not quite trust myself to get this thing running. So, first things first, we shall put the battery switch, which is the switch here, to on, and then we'll guard it. This is basically when you have a horizontal line going across like that, you can't actually flick the switch back up, and it will stay in that position. And that's what we want. So, being the Maddog, and as many of you know, it is an extremely accurate and realistic rendition even of what is a pretty incredible aircraft. So what we want to do is we want to go over to this panel up here, the ground service elect power, and we want to put the maintenance interphone to on, and then we go to the mech call button here, and what we need to do is you need to right click it. This brings up a menu.
Yes, sir.
And this is a very cool feature of the aircraft. So we will go here and we shall connect the
GPU,
ground power
please.
equipment.
Stand by.
And he has been instructed to do that now. And what we will get is, once it's connected, this light here will illuminate like so,
connected.
and we'll be told by the ground handling crew, and then we'll flick this switch to on. We can then head down to the overhead panel, and we can put the buses to on.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
So we'll set off good old Bitch and Betty. And we can just do a few things. Galley power can go on. Put the air on in the aircraft. And obviously just the seatbelt signs, emergency lights to arm, and everything else is how we want it right now. So that's all good. We can now go back down here, press the B switch, press the B key on the keyboard, get all of that aligned, get the pressure set, and to turn on the screens in the Maddog, you have this panel here and this panel over there. They're identical panels, and this is just what gets the screen turned on this aircraft. So you may notice that the scroll wheel is turning quite slowly. Way to get around this is to hold the tab key and scroll, and it then actually scrolls quicker for you. So you can then turn this on and get that on as well, because that just like displays it with the radar and stuff. So that's the captain's side all good to go. We can now get the first officer's side set up, and there we go. So you may be asking, why on earth is Mungo flying this aircraft? You're a writer for FSElite. Get out of my video screen. Patrick is taking a little bit of time away from FSElite, so surprise, surprise, you're left with me. And seeing as Shane, OzFlightSimmer, our other excellent YouTube creator, is unable to make a video about this because he doesn't have the aircraft. We're left with me. I know a couple of things about doing this, but I am a bit of a novice, as I have never actually made a YouTube video before. So I'm giving all this stuff to Callum for to do, and I'm just going to do the recording. I'm going to talk to you, and then that's how it's going to go. So, first things first, we've already done all of that. Just want to make sure that everything on the overhead panel is good, and we just want to put the yaw damper to on. Otherwise, everything else on the overhead panel can stay as it is right now. Now we are flying on VATSIM for this flight today, so we'll be setting a frequency of 122.8, which is of course Unicom. And we'll put that across there, and we will squawk 2000. Wonderful. So, what we can do now is go down here to the FMC. For anyone who has ever flown a Boeing aircraft, you'll be pretty familiar with this. It's your standard Boeing-esque FMC. So as always, position initialization. We are on the ground in Dallas-Fort Worth. Looking for the F like a neuron. There we go. Gates today. We are on gate Charlie 30, which can go in there, not in database. Good old Navigraph. Grab the, actually, yes, that doesn't work, so you need to grab the GNS position, which is here. Pop that in, like so. And this aircraft doesn't have any IRSs, so it's already aligned, which I think is always a bit nifty. So, as you can see, we are, of course, departing Dallas-Fort Worth. And we're going to Atlanta Hartsfield International, in like so. Departure runway today. We're going to be taking off of runway 17 right. And we'll go into the departure and arrival page. And we'll get our SID, which is the Fork 2 SID. Like so. Go back to the route page. And after Fork, we are going direct to El Dorado. I'm not actually sure which one it is. We'll just go with this one. And hope that that works. Next up, we're going direct to Meridian, which is Mike Echo India. Thereafter, we're going to Dark. And then we're going to Orc. And that'll take us onto our star into Atlanta. So, cost index for today's flight, we can leave at 35. Always forget that doesn't work. 0 fuel weight for today's flight. We are at 53.2. And our fuel today is going to be 8.4. I think it's /N. It is. I have a great memory. Look at that. And reserves for today's flight are going to be 2.1. Wonderful. Cruising altitude today is going to be 33,000 feet. And of course, we're in America, so the transition altitude is going to be 18,000. Head over to the takeoff page now. And all we really need to do on this page actually is just put the V-speeds in. Because thanks to this little tool just here, we set our takeoff speeds through there. So, our V1 speed today is going to be 137. Rotate speed is going to be 140. And 147 for the V2 speed. And with that, we can now go up over here. Click the takeoff switch there. And this is where I get dumbfounded. Because this isn't working. Please bear with me. Okay, we are back. I've worked out where I went wrong. So, our assumed temperature for today is going to be 42. There we go. Wonderful. So, that is now the FMC set up, so we can put that to the progress page, put that to the legs page, and we can run through with the rest of the checklist. So we can go over to the air conditioning panel, which is just up here, and we can put the those are on normal. The supply can go to auto. As you can hear, the sounds on these are always, as expected, very, very nice. And the pressure at our destination, I shall just try and find that out now. So we are going to Atlanta, which gives us a pressure of 1030. Wonderful. And I'll just quickly check on the charts the airport's elevation. And we'll just put the pitot tubes onto captain. When we click there, this is something when you've done the V speeds, click in the right hand corner up here, and then these white markers indicate what your V speeds are, and we'll just do that again over on that side, which is all good. Wonderful. So airport info, we've got airport elevation of 1026. So this is in hundreds of feet, so we'll select about there. That will suffice. Good, good. So we can whack the light directors on for the autopilot, and I'll just quickly grab up our takeoff data again so we can check what speeds we're looking at. So 137 for our no, 147 even for our V2 speed, and we'll just grab the runway heading here in Dallas Fort Worth, which is going to be 176. So we will hold down tab so that we can actually get around it quickly. 176, and we'll just set an industrial altitude as well, what we'll do, 10,000 feet will do. Actually, we'll just do 8,000. Good stuff. So I am doing some GSX boarding here, as you can see, and they're just going to do some cargo loading, hopefully, if it actually went up to the door. So I'll just quickly take you on a quick tour of the outside of the aircraft, because it is really something to behold, especially with this new repaint, which I can't remember off the top of my head who made it, but it is truly excellent. And this is it in the wonderful American Airlines metallic livery. A rare sight nowadays, only really found on these aircraft. I think it's on a couple of 7.6s and a couple of 7.3s, but all of the MD-80s, if I'm correct, have this. So, seeing as we're getting quite close to getting on our way, we can put the right fuel pump on. This just means that we can get fuel to the APU. Put the start pump to on like so, and we will grab that, let it flick down to start, and that should now start up the APU. We'll just cancel the master caution. As you can see, the modelling and texturing on this aircraft is just something else. It's truly excellent. So what I did forget was to put on the lights. The lights are in weird places, but this is their Mad Dog. So we'll put the position light on, and when we go out to the wings, you can now see that there are lights on there, which is good. What we can do is get the what are we on at the moment? That's plan, that's map. We can put the ADFs on and just make sure that everything is all good to go. So there we go, on the map view, ADF, make sure we're on the lowest range, which we are. It will always say VOR fail here, but that's nothing to worry about. It's not too big of a problem. So our route looks all good, and everything is ready to go. Just going to check this our boarding progress, which looks to be getting there now. just getting the final bags on into the back of the aircraft, and then we should be on our way. So that is boarding completed. We'll press shift 1 and we want to get this bottom right corner down here and bring up the cabin crew comms, and you simply click on these and the doors will all close. With that, we can say farewell to the jetway, and we can now switch over like so onto the APU power, which means we can now get rid of that up there, call the ground crew,
yes, sir.
and request that they disconnect like so. So with that, anti-coal light can come on, seatbelt signs can come on as well, and before start flight deck preparation, we want to make sure that all the fuel pumps are on board the aircraft. Want to deny that, just so that gets rid of that warning there. And just to make sure everything is good, we will just go down here, select standby on our TCAS. Everything is looking good. FMS, yes. Hydraulics. Those can go to the on position if I could remember where they are. Typical me forgetting where the hydraulic switches are, because they're not here. They're in some weird position, but I can't remember what position that is. What we do want to do is we want to put these like on, like so. Arm the auto brake, maybe not. Put it to RTO. Okay, doesn't want me to arm it. That's alright. We're all good. We should be all good to go. I've just remembered the hydraulic pumps are. They are down here. So we'll put these to high, put the trans pump on, and put the aux pump on. So we've now called for pushback, and that's now coming out to the aircraft. Everything is good for us to get the aircraft up and running. So we want to head up to the overhead panel, switch that to System B. Doesn't really matter. System A, System B, doesn't really make a difference which one you go for, as long as you have one of them selected. We can now get the chrono running on the first officer's side. The ground crew are now locking the gear, and we're almost ready to get pushed back and on our way out to the runway.
Departure check completed. Flight has been inserted.
Might help if we
Parking brakes.
align the artificial horizon. So we'll go down here, release the parking brakes,
All engines clear.
and GSX is telling us that we can start at will. So we shall start the right engine, need to hold it down. So that gets to about 18. If it gets to 18, that is. Which it doesn't look like it wants to do. I'm trying to think what I've done wrong. Ah. There we go. So about 18% fuel goes in. And you'll see that the EGT now starts to rise. And the M1 starts to rise as well. And that's just the sound of the generators switching. A sound that I still think is pretty darn cool. So, we have a good start on engine number 2. Look up that switch. Can do the same for the left engine now. And bring the fuel in. Once again, that's the power switching over to the engines from the APU. And there we go, we've come to a halt. Parking brake is on. And we can now put that back to start. So, we want the after start and taxi procedure. So, that can go to off. We can put the air conditioning supply back on. And then don't need the ice protection. That's all good. We can set flaps 15, which is going to be our takeoff flap setting for today. And we can now see that coming down on the wing. The wings are another part that are textured excellently on this aircraft, as you can see by the detail there. Well guys, that is us done. That is a startup of the Leonardo Fly The Maddog MD-80. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. This aircraft will be out very soon, and we hope to see you again in an FSElite video in the very near future.